shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yay, da, 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 bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and welcome to Temple Shir Shalom's Kabbalat Shabbat service. Great to be able to be together, to join together, to celebrate Shabbat, and to be together as a community. And if you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, we invite you to take a moment, as we always do, just to get to know the people who are part of our community, and let us know that you're with us as well here tonight, and just to post something in the chat, wishing everybody a Shabbat Shalom or saying hi, just as Art and Aaron and Paulette and Lynn, Jim and Janet, Barb and Gary, and Sarah and Mike have done. And we wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom, because we're here in person to be able to do it. We would come over and give you a big hug and kiss when we're able to do that, and wish you a Shabbat Shalom as well. So it's a great day to be able to celebrate Shabbat. The sun was shining, those rain clouds came through, and hopefully they're gone, because I'm out in the garden here at Temple, because I'm excited about what we have in store for the future and the opportunities to be able to join together outside for our services and our summer services starting in June, and some of our special services for Shabbat, graduation, and confirmation that will be coming up that we'll tell you more about a little bit later on. But as we always do on these 6:30 Kabbalat Shabbat services, it's our meditation style service. So we're going to invite you to just sit back, relax, join together with us if you want, and sing along with the prayers, or just listen, be present, and enjoy the moment as well. One of the traditional songs that we sometimes sing, the words, Ma Yafeh Hayom, we say, how great is this day, how special this day, how beautiful this day of Shabbat. And as we wish each other that Shabbat Shalom, we take a moment to recognize how beautiful today really is. So I invite you just for a moment to close your eyes, to look within. Let these words resonate just for a moment as Cantor sings them, and then we'll talk about them a little bit more as well.
Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. 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 Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom.
Cantor slows that down for us. It's a wonderful reminder for me as well to slow down, to take some time. That's what Shabbat is all about. just to be able to be present, to soak in the moment. Those words that we sang, Ma Yafeh Hayom, mean how great, how beautiful this day is, this day of Shabbat. And I think it's a wonderful reminder for us that sometimes we go through life, we run through things without pausing, without taking moments to just enjoy the beauty of life, to enjoy the beauty of what's around us. Shabbat is really supposed to be a taste for us of what paradise could be, what Gan Eden, what Adam and Eve experienced in the Garden of Eden, that it's supposed to be for us a taste of perfection. So just for a moment, I invite you to think about in your own mind. Maybe name them to yourself. Maybe tell it to a person that's near you, that might be next to you. Tell them something that was beautiful, something great, something you enjoyed this week. Name that to yourself. Ma Yafeh Hayom. How beautiful this day of Shabbat is. That gives us these moments to pause, to reflect, to recognize that even in the challenges of our lives, the challenges of our world, that we can still find beauty within. The beauty of a connection, the beauty of a thunderstorm and the sounds of the thunder rolling by, the beautiful of a sunny day and the sun shining down, moments to be outdoors, to soak in fresh air, to breathe in, to hear the chirping of the birds. Ma Yafeh Hayom. How beautiful this day of Shabbat is.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
One of the other beautiful parts of Shabbat is that we're able to join together as a community, join together in prayer. And so whether it's your custom to sit or stand, we invite you to do what's comfortable for you. Traditionally, we rise for these words for our call to worship as we join with Cantor.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto leolam vaed. בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amazing when we reflect on the time of this past year. We had a meeting today. We realized it was literally a year to date of when we began our COVID task force, talking about the realities of our world, how we could spend time together, what we could and couldn't do. At some level, it seems like yesterday. Some level, it seems like forever ago. Remarkable what's occurred. And what we could have projected back then, the reality of having no idea what these next months would be in store for us. Part of our prayers are the recognition of that as well. The recognition of the challenges, the hurdles, the mountains that we'll have to climb. The times will fall, times will fail, and also the ways we get back up. But the reason the prayers are there are a way to give thanks as well. Remember, all of our prayers on the most literal level do one of two things: either thanking God or asking for something, petitioning God, right? And the idea, we ask for peace, we ask for wholeness, we ask for healing, health, strength, protection, but we do so in the same context as we thank God in recognizing the blessings that are here right now, and honoring the blessings that are right before us. Because so often in the busyness and the hecticness and the craziness and the worriedness and the challenges, we miss those blessings that are there. You only recognize them if they've been, taken out of our hands. But when they're right there to touch, we look past them, we neglect them. So the idea of pausing on Shabbat is to give ourselves that recognition of a blessing. And then in the midst of prayers, to recognize how fortunate we are to have that and to want to hold on to that. We have no idea what tomorrow holds. We have plans, we prepare, yet at the same time, we know how that rug gets pulled out from under us. So what we do now is focus on the present, the blessing in the here and now. And saying, God, I want to hold on to this, and I want this to carry me forward so I have it in the future. To say at night, let us lie down in peace, God. Permit us to wake up in that security and knowing that we're safe and loved. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, V'Avidenu Malkeinu L'Chayim.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, V'Hamidenu Shomreinu Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
Often heard me say how difficult prayer is, even for us rabbis cantor. That which is a challenge because people assume it's so easy to do, but really all of our minds wander. All of our thoughts sometimes are scattered. And the idea of the value of prayer, well, that holds true, but how we do it. But there's certain melodies, certain ways we pray, certain words we say that link us together. And it's those connections, I think, that make our prayer that much more important. Because in chanting the prayers that are the routine, that are regular, that we say all the time, well, even if we don't see each other, we know we're all singing that same melody. We're connecting ourselves. We sing the Avot V'Imahot. We chant that prayer that links us with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. I often wonder, what was their faith? Like, yes, we talk about the depth of their faith, but would they be like us and say, man, this is difficult to do. I'm lost. And yet at the same time, this past year, I think if we reflect back on it, we realize we've thought about prayer a lot more than in previous years. For me, that routine, the regular, the fixed, is what's helped. And so as we prepare for the Amidah, our central prayers of worship, let us lift us up, help us in some way, each in our own unique ways as well.
The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. Yes, eternity utters a day. Adonai Sifetai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Rabbi shared those 6 prayers, those words that are written for us. They give us comfort. But sometimes as we look to words, we also look for strength, and they provide that to us too. And this next prayer, the words of the Mishaberach Lecholim, is asking God to give strength and comfort and healing to those who are sick, physically, those with anxiety. And so our tradition has taught us that we turn to words of tradition to help us in these challenging times. As we say the words of Mishaberach, we think of friends and family from our community. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel, hu yivarech et hacholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. To Judy Barman, Larry Burke, Grace Geraldine Carafelli, Karen Kasman, Lindsay Cooper, Molly Cotant, Barbara Essrig, Daniel Fell, Renee Firestone, Sandy Flair, Karen Garassi, Jim Garrett, Kathy Gilman, Gracie Goldman, Joseph Goldring, Lola Goldring, Sandy Gorish, Franklin Grady, Batia Batbeshe Panina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Susan Gorelnik, Hank Heiser, Helen Indianer, John Ireland, Jane Jacobs, Bruce Kay, Paulette Coffrin, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Charlene Lizelle, Adam Linden, Angelo Liverati, Josh Lubick, Libby McIntyre, Mike O'Malley, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Joyce Meza, Sharon Mizell, Hannah Molesky, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Razel Bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva Bat Avram Vachana, Tamara Pesakov, Melanie Pohl, Diane Rabbit, Diane Rabit, James Raftery, Arthur Reish, Joanne Reed, Raymond Reif, Alan Rosen, Morgan Ross, Barbara Shear, the St. Amand family, Micha Chuna, Ben Sima Freda, Amy Selmanoff, Danny Shepard, Barbara Storm, Mark Wagoner, Skylie Weingarten, Sarah Batfega, Elaine Wolf, all those battling the coronavirus both at home and in the hospital, the 53,117 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, of spirit.
May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
In addition to our prayers for healing, we ask that God's partners in healing and those whose work allows our needs for survival to be met, may they all be blessed. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Our God, who blessed our ancestors, bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, physicians and nurses and orderlies, technicians and home health aides, EMTs and pharmacists, hospital social workers, respiratory therapists, and mental health professionals. And bless those who continue to go above and beyond, those working daily in our grocery stores, those who drive medical supplies to our homes, those delivering necessities to our families, cooking meals for so many, everyone who puts the needs of others above their own, navigating the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health, that they may bring health. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. And may this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. As together we say, Amen. We continue with the words of the Aleinu, and prayers.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
One of the most difficult things this past year is the rites connected to mourning, to loss. For so many of those are to be done in a sense, in the reality of community rather than by oneself. We come to synagogue for Kaddish, we gather as a minyan, we gather in our homes, things that have been ripped away from us this year. But it doesn't mean we can't still feel community. And in the prayers and the recognition that we're all saying it together, imagining we hear one another, it lifts us up. We know we're not alone. And such is the Kaddish in the midst of who we are. Such as the Kaddish as a guidepost in a sense for us. And although it is, in a sense, the poetry that we associate with loss and mourning, the actual words are of affirming life, reminding us of the blessings of the lives that touched ours, and lifting us up, knowing how fortunate we were to have these connections, to still have these connections, to always have these connections. So with that in mind, we turn to remembering those who've been taken from our midst in this past week and month, whose shloshim we mark, friends and family of our congregation: Judy Yarber, Gerald Gold, Eleanor Park, William Rolnick, Miles Brash, Marjorie Pensine, Fanny Zuckerman of the Shana, as well as the 7,038 Americans of our armed forces who've been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and surrounding areas to date, the 580,288 Americans who've lost their lives to the coronavirus. Linking their names with names as yortzites we mark on the Shabbat, those anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate: Marvin Burshess, Rabbi Sissy Koran, Robert Cutler, Harriet Fink, Elliot Friedman, Fanny Gold, Ida Goodman, Stephen Gerwin, Florence Hillenberg, Doc Lee Chelson, Florence Coltoneau, Harry Kretschmer, Jack Kunzman, Rhonda Kushner, Janice Levine, Shirley Malamud, Morton Marks Margolis, Marvin Mevis, Mel Miller, Harold Morse, Harry Must, Bernice Meisels, Stephen Michael Newman, Harry Must, Basha Pick, Ilo Seidman, Leonard Silk, Odie Silverstein, Larry Swartz, Nate Tarnow, Arthur Victor, Pamela Weinstein, Elliot Weston, Nathan Zolkauer, Nathan Zumberg. Linking their names, all names that we did not recite on the Shabbat. Those every faith and family, those whose lives have touched ours, as well as those who have no one to stand and say Kaddish for them. So do we stand together now, reciting the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Bi'alma dira chirete bi'al mich malchute. B'chayachon uviomechon uvchaye techol beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam ameh amaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh v'yit adar v'yit naleh v'yit nalal shemei tukudisha b'richu v'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata ta'amiram v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlomo rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. The source of peace and peace to those who mourn, comfort to those who are bereaved here and everywhere.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shalom, Cantor, Rabbi, and to all of you who are part of our services on this beautiful, yikes, it got really dark out my window, Shabbat evening. So people have been asking, we are hoping to be in person next week. However, it's not an open service. You've had the RSVP for that. And it's one honoring our graduates, our seniors in high school. Always a beautiful service, and excited that we have such a great class, a big class. So most of them, their families, parents, grandparents, siblings have filled up the spots that we have. So we're already full for that. But we're going to be broadcasting a service like this next week. So in addition to me and Rabbi and Cantor leading, our high school seniors they'll be sharing some of their reflections on leaving their temple onto their college and their next experiences in life. And our confirmation service on Erev Shavuos is Sunday evening, and that's also live in person with them, but it's going to be broadcast to all of you to be able to watch that too. We encourage you to log on and do that. Starting June 4th, in 4 weeks, we end our Friday B'nai Mitzvah, and we're going to be going outdoors, doing in-person. All those services I just mentioned are outdoors as well. So weather permitting. And Audrey, behind the scenes, thanks Audrey, strong work, is going to drop in the RSVP form for some of those. And our services on June 4th will be outdoors, June 11th, 18th, all of our Friday night services for the summer months, outdoors. And we're going to limit the numbers to around 100. That's our plan as of now, that we feel safe with. As numbers come down, as more are vaccinated, potentially we could open it up to a little bit larger as well. Socially distant, wearing masks outside as well, because we'll be in a closer proximity. Our Yisker service on Shavuos on Monday morning, May 17th, I think, will be online, will be a remote service. However, we are dedicating Yortzeit plaques. We haven't done that for, since Yom Kippur or Sukkot of 2019. And so if you want to dedicate a plaque that you've placed up in the Yortzeit hall for your loved one, you can either do it with us online during the service. We'll read those names in particular and light candles next to their plaques, or you can schedule a time for the couple hours after services here on the Bima. And we're doing 15-minute increments that a family can come up and do that, have a little time to honor their family member and share together as well. That will be privately done as well, in person like that. Any questions, give us a holler and we'll explain more as well. Other cool things that are coming up next Tuesday, May 11th, Rabbi Daniel's teaching a hot topics class on Black Lives Matter. What's Jewish about this? May 18th, a week after that, our speaker series will be talking about astrology and astronomy and looking at the stars with our astronomical photographer, Dr. Michael, I made that word up. I don't know what it's really called. Astrophysical photography. Live, in person, Rabbi Michael Moskowitz just making things up. He takes pictures of the stars that are really wicked. So Dr. Shapiro will be talking about that, and I'm going to talk about the Jewish idea and how our ancestors looked at the stars and the import they had and how it actually became parts of their prayers too. So interesting. Science, religion together, meshing as one. Okay, this is what happens when I'm talking to myself and I don't have a congregation in front of me, no idea what's happening, if you're with me or not, and I'm just going on. 14 months of this, and yep, lost my hair. Wait, I didn't have my hair. Oh, Monday morning astrophotography. Thank you. Thank you for the support there, Audrey. On Monday morning musings, May 10th, Rabbi Stephen Hennessy Moskowitz will be my guest, or Rabbi Michael Moskowitz will be Stephen's guest. My brother, the rabbi, and I will be teaching together, sharing some thoughts, and reflecting on this past year. Ironically, after the first few weeks of me doing it, he liked it so much, he does it too. So it's fun that we're going to be together. I've only had 3 people as triple guests, only 3 people as double guests as well. And that would be my brother, Pastor Ken Flowers, and Rabbi Mike Moskowitz. So I guess the name Moskowitz actually gets more potential. I don't know. Looking forward to these times together, though. It's been meaningful for me and a great way to share and teach. I'm waiting for a question. If not, we're going to go off in just a moment because we do have a beautiful bat mitzvah waiting for us too. Sometimes when it's really quiet, people say crickets. From now on, we're going to say cicadas. Talk about God's world and creation and how bizarre that is, right? Come on. Who's excited for 4 weeks from now when we fall asleep at night to the sound of those? They're kosher, by the way. Yes, you don't need me to bless them or anything. Cook those babies up. Yeah, and it's not meat, so you can put cheese with them too. Just curious. People have like a fried cicada party here at Temple. What do you think cicadas go with? I don't think wine. I'm thinking that's like beer or bourbon.
White wine.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with my beer.
A sweet white wine.
Sweet white wine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cantor and I are going to be doing a flavor pairing of cicadas with different drinks and seeing how this works. But most important, These times together, the perspective that Shabbat gives us, it is really meaningful to us, and it gives us clergy pause to reflect on how blessed we are to have community around us and the support you've offered this entire time, these 15 months. So with that, let us conclude our prayers as we give thanks for this time together, but also ask God's blessing upon us, first for the sweetness of this day, the joy of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Amen. For our time together, we ask God's blessing upon us.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
God's light shine upon you and shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisim lecha shalom.
God always be a part of who you are, who we are as a community, as individuals. All the hopes, blessings we have as well. But most of all, with shalom, with peace, in our heart, in our mind, and all.
Vayisem lecha